Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of iCast Fireball, an actual play 5e D&D adventure where we go through the campaign Skulls and Shackles. My name is Thomas, your DM for this adventure, and around the table we have
Lieutenant Ignis Halcon,
Maximus Shans,
Ataraxia Kalian,
and Buster Bilgewater.
Last we left our adventurers, there was a wake, a remembrance, a desire to honor those that had passed on. And after some pointed speeches, some pointed writings from the captain and from those of the crew, including the captain's council, the satyr song, although saddened by the death of one of their most emphatic crew members, has been buoyed up on this leg of their adventure to move forward and to gain strength from a tragedy rather than to let it bring them down. Going back to Tidewater Rock, having sufficiently broken it, we had Knuckles agree to stay behind, as well as Fish Guts, actually, to stay behind, and to sort of shore up the defenses of Tidewater for the time being, while this next leg of the adventure is brought upon and volunteered by those willing to adventure possibly into a different dimension, in discovering either the Feywild, or rather to help Ataraxia find his mother. This is the next leg of the adventure we get on, and that is where we join our adventurers on this week's episode of iCast Fireball. Also, everybody leveled up.
Yay!
It'd been an intense 72 hours where 2 levels were gained. And everybody, if I didn't already state, full health, full spells, full everything as a result, because we did spend 2 days on Tidewater Rock, and now we are pushing forward into the next leg of our adventure here. As a result, there's going to be a lot of travel by boat that we're going to be doing as you are trying to navigate and find and discover where to go and how to move forward and all of this. So there's going to be a little bit of downtime that we've got going on here, which I know, Ignis, you were particularly wanting to really dive in and learn Aquin, if possible. There are going to be other opportunities for some downtime activities as well. So just be aware of that as we move forward into this next leg. However, before we get into a multi-day event, Sandara actually asks all of you for your attention and if she can meet you in the captain's quarters.
Absolutely.
I like her now, so happy to oblige.
begrudgingly.
And Max, as you're the last to shut the door behind you, she clears her throat. You four be doing a mighty fine job keeping the crew together, and I must say, with my previous experience on other boats, I'm mighty fine impressed with how you can give an impassioned, how you can give a speech to bolster the men and lasses. So, I know it's probably not much, doesn't mean much from one of your lackeys here, but I say, job well done to the 4 of you. As she looks at each of you individually, and she goes, I know the words spoken when the 4 of you ain't around, they be nothing but praise for you 4. So, I believe there'd be some pride to be taken in that. So, just, that's the first thing I wish to say. And she's a little emotional and kind of brushing at her nose and her eyes. Just second thing I wish to report on, which I didn't have an opportunity to earlier with all of the hubbub, the dramatic nature of what was happening at Tidewater Rock. But you asked me to get rid of Inkskin. She says questioningly.
The body.
Yes. Well, before I did, like any good pirate, I was looting her from all that she had. And I must say, she didn't have much on her. But the few things that she did have, I think we might want to consider. Have any of you heard of Mancatcher Cove.
Have we?
Yes.
Roll a history check.
Yes, roll a history check.
That's what we should just automatically say. Don't roll, just go, yes, we have.
Yes.
Nope.
And then Thomas has
We sure have. I'm
Absolutely, I
very
do.
familiar with that.
Oh, then would you mind telling me all about Mancatcher Cove?
That we just yes and it. We just make it up.
Oh yeah, it's my favorite
We
place.
take out Thomas. We just start making it up.
I used to go there on vacation all the time
Ooh.
when I was younger.
Question quick. Would it have been enough time that I should roll more divination rolls for the day? Like new divination rolls for the day?
I believe last
'Cause
time
I used the last ones on helping them with their crops, I believe.
Oh yes. You should have. You should have rolled more divination. That's correct.
Okay.
Because this is
So
a brand new day.
Fresh divinations. One of them's a nat 20. I'm going to hang on to that.
All right. So, Ataraxia.
16.
5.
9.
Non-natural 20.
Ooh. Ignis. You're the only one to know this.
Ah, I read books. I know things.
Well, Mancatcher Cove is a really not anything that impressive, but it is it's among a few islands on an unnamed archipelago, which, as we all know, no, just kidding.
The Shackles is an
on-
archipelago, isn't it?
So it's another.
Yes, it is.
Is it
But this
another
is in,
archipelago?
Yeah, it's an archipelago
Yes.
of islands.
This is it's inside the Shackles though, so it's like
So an archipelago in an archipelago.
there you go. It's a
Archipelago
subset.
Archipelagito.
It's a subset, and it's north of the Yoshinawa Isles and west of Besmara's throne. All these locations in the Shackles itself, but it's not anything to note of. But it does roughly about 110 miles northwest of Tidewater Rock, if as the crow flies, or in this as the albatross flies in this instance. So you can't necessarily go there by a straight shot, and with that in mind, it probably would take you close to a week to get there if you wanted to. But the name doesn't actually ring a bell of why this is important. I will say, well, this is all the information you pick up as Sandara is continuing to talk. There'd be a poem that, if any of you part of Pirating for Long, you might have heard of it. It goes a little something like this. From Blue Bright's embrace, spy the grave lady's prize tooth. With the dawn flower's first kiss, climb the captain's wayward orb to claim old king's hoard.
Sorry, hold on. You caught me at the last word there. They should have started the poem out from the beginning. Okay. I'm gonna need
Wasn't
that.
paying attention.
I'm gonna need that poem one more time. You lost me after Horde or before Horde.
Aye. I'll say it real slow like.
Yes, please.
From Blue Bright's embrace, spy the grave lady's prize tooth. With the dawn flower's first kiss, climb the captain's wayward orb to claim old king's hoard. This poem be speaking about one of well, I won't call him ancient necessarily in the historical, archaeological aspects, but one of the ancient free captains, also known as Cyrus Wolf. Legend has it Cyrus Wolf, he was a fierce, absolute fierce pirate. One that had amassed so much wealth that the free captains chased after him all over the Shackles. Because if they could just knock a part of his ship apart, there would be gold for generations to be found. And of course, like any good free captain, Cyrus Wolf hid his gold all over the Shackles.
You know, now see here's a point I've got with any free captain. If I had gold, I would be using it and enjoying it. I don't know why everybody always buries it. That's never made any sense to me. I don't know. I have an issue with the dirt.
Yeah. You clearly haven't been using gold to increase your infamy or status amongst the Shackles.
No.
Well, Cyrus, this is one of the biggest ways. That and his cruel nature was one way that he was known to be. Well, this was before the Hurricane King, of course, but if it had been around, he would have been the Hurricane Emperor, probably, with how fierce and mighty he was. So, he hid it. Nobody knows exactly where Cyrus Wolf's treasure be lying, but he did leave this poem behind throughout the years and decades and generations to tease out where it possibly could be. At that point, she pulls out a piece of paper and she lays it out on the table. And it's roughly drawn, but she goes, I found a peculiar map on the back of Inkskin.
Well, hold on. On the back of her?
Like tattooed on her back?
It'd be
Are
tattooed.
we pulling a water world right now?
And although I'm no expert in the Shackles, I do feel Besmara has blessed me to take notice of this and make a few connections for you to see this possibly could be one possible location of Cyrus Wolf's treasure. Mind you, I doubt it be all of the gold you could be ever hoping for generations and eons to come, but one location of Cyrus Wolf's treasure? Aye.
I mean, but if he's littering this poem around all over the place, it would probably make sense that others have tried to find it.
Oh, aye. This has been one of the hallmarks of some of the mad free captains to find it, to find a deliberate clue left from one of the most powerful and wealthy free captains as we've known it. But it's driven a lot of free captains mad trying to find it because the poem they couldn't quite make connections. As she points down to the map and points down, I wonder if we could be making some of the connections here, though.
Well, the Grave Lady is probably the goddess Pharasma, and the Dawnflower is another name for the goddess Sarenrae. So that's probably a place to start.
As she looks over at you, Ataraxia, she goes, Aye. It's where I was beginning to think that the words of the poem speaking to me here. And as she looks down, and Ned, just knowing the lore, yeah, that's absolutely right. The Grave Lady.
Captain, if I may, you would be amazing at a game show type scenario. I just have these details.
I would love to give it a try.
As she points down to the map, one distinct location, she goes, If this not be just an artist's rendition here, and I copied it as exactly as I could. She points to one of a rock formation that actually appears to look like a head loosely, which is actually a loose interpretation of Pharasma's like iconography as well, like a death's head. This could be a starting point there. And as she draws over up to the top right of the sun, it is in a similar iconography of the statue that you found at the bottom of the lake with the water elemental, the statue of Sarenrae with the arms outstretched and the wings up and down.
Okay. Yes, making connections we are, in fact.
I mean, free captains do like to hide, or I'll just say it plainly, some just like to troll around and just make fools of others that think they have an advantage in an upper up, but this was tattooed on her back, mind you. Something not to be forgotten. So
Which is like kind of a terrible place for
That's
something
what
you don't want to
can never
forget.
easily see.
Yeah. Hey, could you remind me? You can remind me what's on my back so I don't forget. She's dead, and it's funny now.
Or it'd be the perfect place if she was working with somebody or had a partner.
Or trying to hide it. Back's easier to hide in a shirt than your arms.
And she wasn't really fond of shirts either, though.
She had quite a bit of ink all over her. I mean, hence the name. I mean, that goes self. But it was it was not something immediately apparent to me as I was looking over her body there. So,
Well, what's the order, Cap? I mean, you wanted to go try and hunt down the Fey Realm.
I bring this up hesitantly, only in that I found it. I thought I'd report it to you. As far as I'm aware, we might be the only ones to know this, so we might be able to put it in our back pocket, so to speak, and hold on to it.
I mean, finding a portal into another plane is maybe going to take a bit of traveling, asking around, a little bit of exploration. Maybe we explore our way up to the area located in this map, and we, along the way, try and see if we can find information about, maybe a planar crossing of sorts. That's not something that's out of the question for the Fey realm. I mean, getting a lot of cash seems pretty cool. I'm a fan of that.
Ditto.
It'd be a possibility. But the decision be rightly yours, and everybody here on the ship is committed to helping you find the Fey realm, a realm to another world, possibilities here. So it'd be up to you, Captain.
Sandara, you wouldn't happen to have any quest hooks related to the Fey realm, would you?
I could have a roll.
Captain, I have a possible hook.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of intending to explore this on my own, but, I don't know, Sandara, Council, if you guys are willing to see a first-time spell cast.
Yeah. If you got a new spell that you've been itching to try out, by all means.
Yeah, well, it takes me some time deciphering what Mom's wrote on the scarf and all, and I feel like the more I get accustomed to the magic, the more I understand it. And found this in the, the plunder we took from the Chilaxians, and he pulls out a gilded flower, just a really decorative gilded flower from the, they had all that, ostentatious, ridiculous stuff. I hope it's not out of the question for Buster to have found a gilded flower in the mix.
No, go for it.
And he's going to set it on the ground. Is it okay if I pivot this? I don't want to interrupt. I'm going to say to Sandara, I don't want to interrupt if you had more to...
If we'd be doing show and tell, I'd like to be the first one to see it, of course. This is a rare treat for me. So.
Right, so, okay. He sets the flower down, and then when he releases it, as he lets go of the flower, one of the lines on his scarf starts to glow, and the flower doesn't fall. It stands in place. And as he says the words of the spell and kind of moves his hands around, the flower will begin to spin, and whatever comes out of it essentially will be pollen, and that will form the creature he has so summoned. So he says, for tricks or play of realms of Fey, I command you, spirit, come forth, obey. And he casts Summon Fey. And he can choose to summon a fuming, a mirthful, or a tricksy spirit. I'm going to go mirthful, because I feel like that will cause the least amount of trouble.
All right, and as this Fey spirit, Josh, what Fey spirit comes forth in your mind? What mirthful Fey spirit comes? We had season 1. We Star Platinum art go from season 1, but what do you imagine comes forward as a mirthful Fey spirit?
I mean, when I think mirth, I think of the bountiful harvest, or some plump-bellied, very happy creature holding a cornucopia or something like that, and perhaps a spirit of the feast, or some kind of Fey, very lesser Fey, not a powerful Fey, but maybe a Fey spirit, a spirit of wines.
Spirit of wines.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Mirthful and red-nosed, and perfect for a pirate crew.
Yeah. So as when I think of Spirit of Wines, I think of a satyr, actually, from I go back to Fantasia, and of the original Fantasia movie, where they got the satyrs drinking the wine and such. But as this mirthful spirit pops in from pollen, actually forms around this invisible creature, and then it dissipates outwards and kind of itches at all of your nose. It almost purposely goes in front of each of your eyes. Even if you try to block it, it swoops under your hands, and it just purposely obscures your vision for just that second, and all of a sudden you hear Oh, yeah. All right. And you see this very fat, short satyr who is shirtless, rubbing their belly and with a goblet of just dark liquid. And just they take a big old drink from it. And as they pull it from their lips, none of the liquid has been displaced or left the goblet, almost like it's being perpetually filled. All right. And it looks around at each of you, points to you, Buster. You called me?
Yes, I am Buster Bilgewater, who has summoned you. Yes.
Great, I'll remember that.
Do you got a name?
Nope.
Cool. All right. We're looking for the Fey Realm.
Ah.
Could you, I mean, this maybe sounds thoughtless, but do you recognize him?
Brother!
Brother.
Point at the captain.
Brother!
I mean, do I recognize Jim?
Son?
Ask if he recognizes you, like if you look familiar at all.
He looks at you and goes, it's one of you on this side, eh? Oh, man.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad. Would you like a name?
No, I mean, I actually, I was lying. I do have a name, but I'm not going to tell you it. I mean, it just,
gotcha. I know how that is.
names are pretty powerful, you know? So, that's what I'm saying. I'll remember yours, as he points to yours, Buster, and goes, so, appreciate that.
Great. We are looking to get to the Fey Realm, and I am hunting for information, and I'm curious if you know of any, what did you call them, Ataraxia?
Oh, Fey crossings, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Fey crossings that we could access from the Shackles.
Oh, Shackles.
They are an archipelago of islands.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do too well with water, but I've visited some shackle places, and pretty nice. I'll say that as he takes another long pull from his drink. Yeah, let me think of some here, and I'll roll here to just see the likelihood of them
He has stats.
knowing. Yes, he does have stats. I was mainly rolling for randomness here to see if
Gotcha.
this time around, if he knew anything. So here we go. I will say, yeah. Ooh. Yeah. I mean, there are some Fey crossings here that you could go to. Some of them are pretty obscure. Some of them you got to know the right people, but there are also just some general crossings, into just kind of like a crossroads, where you can go any number of directions. So, I mean, that's a possibility as well. Those ones are usually pretty well protected, though. Pretty dangerous, if you will. But, yeah, I think, have you guys heard anything about the Brine Banshee? Everybody?
Yes, we have.
For sure.
Yes.
The Banshee's the one that yells and
yes.
screams and
Brine,
the Brine
makes
Banshee.
things
Very
with
famous
voice.
Banshee,
Yes.
yes.
Specifically
Brine's
the Banshee
yes.
of Brine.
She's actually just a day's sail away, I think.
I think a couple of hours, if I
I
remember
think so.
correctly.
I think it's pretty quick travel.
Yeah, clearly none of you know it. It's a ship, all right? So,
Oh, that
Right.
brain.
It's
So,
a ship.
Oh,
It's the ship. The ship Brine Banshee.
The ship.
Yeah.
yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, I'd recommend start looking there.
Looking at the ship.
Just looking into it,
Oh, is it a wreck?
I'll be honest, it's been a long time, but I mean, since I've been there, I've visited, and I just remember what people whisper about, So it might be a wreck. It might be a wreck of a ship that's still afloat. You know what I mean? So,
Is there another Fae you would suggest we talk to?
Oh my gosh.
hey, look, you called me, man. All right, like you called me, and I'm not about to go give out some of the important names of people that I know from the Feywild. So,
Fair.
but I would recommend starting there to maybe do some investigation, figuring out what that is, where it is.
Hey, well, thanks for filling us in there.
Yeah, of course, man. Hey, and he points to you. If you ever wanna, you seem pretty chill, and if you ever wanna come back to the other side here, seek me out, and maybe we could party a bit.
Yeah, I will definitely know how to find you without your name.
I'm gonna call him Wino.
I'm sure he will love
Sure,
that.
Yeah, you haven't offended him yet, so why not?
Big gulp of his wine. He goes, "It's a good name."
All right. So if I tell people that I'm looking for Wino, then I'll find my way to you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
So you got this guy for an hour. If you,
I'm gonna dismiss him immediately. I'm done.
You got this guy for
I'm
an
done
hour.
with him. Yeah, no, I do. I have him for an hour on concentration, but my concentration is done. I'm done.
My concentration is
and
done.
I will pick up the flower afterwards. Okay, maybe that wasn't as helpful as I hoped it would be.
Well, hey, we've got a lead.
The Brine Banshee, yeah.
Maybe we should check with the Lady of the Rock and Captain Knuckles, see if either of them know anything about the Brine Banshee.
That's a good idea.
Are we still in port at Tidewater Rock? We haven't left, right?
I felt like we had left.
Sandara would want to have told you as soon as possible. So
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
she was kind of holding on to the information for 2 days while you guys were all at Tidewater Rock. So, I mean, it could reasonably be while you're leveling up, while you're doing your farming. She just kind of gathers everybody in. So,
Right. Well, we've got a couple different directions that we could start going. One of them concrete, one of them abstract. If there's any more information that we can gather while we're here, I mean, I would be interested in pursuing that personally.
That sounds like some good downtime activity.
Some downtime, you say?
Just general.
I'm here to follow you, Captain. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I'm done with the rock, if I'm being honest. I don't want to set foot on that. I'm going to stay on the boat from now on.
Okay. Well, I will do some, I'll ask some questions back on the rock. You all can do as you please. You are free captains yourselves.
Cool.
so
Aye, aye.
who would like to be the first to attempt to do some of the downtime activities that have been on their minds lately for each of their characters?
I've got an idea. I'm going to try and make the Lady of the Rock pull a card.
Yes.
All right. I would like to
right.
talk to her before he does that.
Good call. I would like to be there when it happens.
Well, Ignis and Max, both of you are going to be, sticking around together, learning each other's language, ideally. Maybe not. Maybe that's for the ship ride back. So, but we'll say that you're going to stick together.
For Ignis, she would want to work on the language as much as they can. For her, it is a mission and a goal to seek out, learn, master. It's not a passive thing for her. It is I have to learn it, and therefore I must learn it immediately. And so anytime that Max would allow her to, she will be working on the language. Outside of that, probably just ship maintenance. I don't think that, or working on kind of the behind the scenes personnel, setting up Tidewater Rock, deciding who's going to stay on which boat, and working out those logistics of that, which isn't necessarily super interesting to listen to on podcast. So, in the background, she's doing that. But most of the time, I think, especially at night, working with Max, trying to master Aquin.
Great. Sounds good.
So nothing that needs to be RP'd for me right now, I think.
Max, I'm going to ask you how you're going to go about doing this card and trying to get her to pull this card. Like, are you going to try to wear her down over a few days? So just be thinking about that. We're going to have Ataraxia talk to her first, though, per his request. Yep. So, Jacob, you could start thinking about maybe some strategies there with this terrified woman who is in fear for her life from the four of you. So, Ataraxia.
And also propose marriage to me, technically.
There we go. There you go. All right.
All right. Now, I would like to, speak to the Lady of the Rock and also Captain Knuckles and see if they know anything about the Brine Banshee.
I'm going to roll for them, but I it's going to be a pretty low DC for each of them. The Lady of the Rock, she is pretty versed in some goings-abouts, but let's see how much lore they can give you, if anything. So the DC, I'll make an 8 for either of them, okay? Yeah, they both rolled more than an 8, so 10 and an 18.
Nice.
Knuckles rolled a 10, and with a -2, it's barely enough.
So was he at -3 before he pulled from the deck?
He's almost at -1. He's like at he's at what is it, 7 right now?
Okay.
No. He had only got a -1. What am I thinking? No, he was at -2. So he's almost normal. Right
Okay,
now
he's
with
getting
his
close.
intelligence. He's getting close. He just needs to pull like 3 more cards from the deck to be a scholar. Because that's how it works.
Exactly.
Knuckles goes,
Oh, brother, yeah. That's a ship. That is a sunken ship, if I do recall.
A
Yeah.
sunken ship, so I was right.
Yeah. The Bright Banshee. Oh, man. That's an old sunken ship. One that's yeah, that's really all I know about it, actually. I'm surprised I even remembered about it. Usually I only think about the ones that I can pillage and go after.
and with that, Miss Lady Smythe, she pops in. Oh yeah, you see, Bright Banshee. Yeah, it sunk. It's at the bottom of the ocean there. But if you're looking for a specific location of it, is that what you'd be doing? I mean, you're asking questions about
Yeah.
it, right?
I would love to head there.
All right. Yeah. You gotta go to the port of Arlo, which I can show. Here, come onto the maps. Port of Arlo, Ollo. It's right here. All right. It's right over here. You're gonna be making your way this direction, and it's gonna be near that location. It's actually people don't really like to talk about it around this port. There's like some superstition, right? That there'd be some creatures that the more you talk about it, the more they drag you down to the ship, and then they make you one of them and like you. And it ain't like those Sahugans that you'd be all familiar with. But I've never been around the Port Arlo for very long, more than just a pass. This is just all secondhand information I've got, so it might be hard to locate the exact like geographical coordination location for it about it, but you might be able to bully a few people around at that port if you'd like, or maybe do some investigating types.
I do enjoy some investigation.
Yeah. One thing about Port Arlo, it's a den of the worst scum and villainy that you probably have seen around that location over there. So it's not as friendly as the four of yous have been to Tidewater Rock, if I can say that delicately and politely. So it's quite dangerous, I would say. So probably good to best be on your guard.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, dude, thanks for all of the assistance. That's been great.
Yeah. Of course, I'll be assisting someone who I'd be voluntarily indentured to for this alliance. Of course, I'll be helping out in any way I possibly can.
Lady Smythe, I wish you all of the good fortune in the near future that you possibly can have. Whatever hand life deals to you, I hope it's a good one.
Aye. That definitely sounds a little bit foreshadowing there, if you know, don't say so myself.
Yeah, I think I really enjoy the alliance that we've got going on, and I hope that you're still alive next time I come looking for you.
I hope so as well. And you know what? If I may say so, if I may say so, right here and right now, I have solidified and smoothed everything over with Sir Royster. So even if something were to have happened to me,
All my story arcs have come to a completion.
it's good.
No loose ends.
It's good. Everything be on the up and up. So
Alright.
I just want you to be aware of that. Since you've given me foreshadowing, I was giving you foreshadowing back. Okay?
Awesome. Knuckles, do you have any foreshadowing for us?
And he just kind of looks at you and goes, well, I knew someone named Shadow.
Is this your Royster or Knuckles?
Knuckles.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, I'm sure that he was the edgiest guy that ever did run these 7 seas.
He was very broody.
Wasn't there a guy on his ship named that?
He's referring to that guy.
Literally, we already know he's on his ship.
The guy foaming on his mouth. The barbarian.
Okay, yes, I will leave these other captains to their fate, and the one last thing I want to do is I want to see if I can find a dartboard anywhere on Tidewater Rock.
Ooh, let's have you do some investigation here.
All right.
Let's have you roll. We had a couple episodes with minimal to no rolling, so let's change that.
All right. Investigation is not great for me, but I can do that if that's what you want me to do.
I do want you to do that.
All right. That's a 13.
13, okay. I will allow you to use a charisma for this instead. I'm not sure if you're proficient with investigation, though. So
Okay, that would bring it up then to a 16.
16, all right. Because you're not going to go rummaging through people's rooms. Ataraxia is a polite gentleman and asks first, right? He asks before he rummages through people's rooms.
Absolutely.
So with a 16, can't find a dartboard right now, unfortunately. Nothing here that resembles darts. And one of the guards who has been shell-shocked from the entire takeover of Tidewater Rock, you kind of like corner him and like as he's sitting down, and he goes, "No, we when we were more of an open kind of port situation, yeah, we did have one, but then we didn't see the need because couldn't gamble amongst ourselves, you know. It's just constantly giving money back and forth. So no dartboard here. So
Cool. Is there anybody around here who I could pay to make a dartboard for me?
hey, make a dartboard. I mean, you're only here for 2 days, right?
Apparently.
Oh yeah. I mean, that is what we talked about. Just like spending 2 days on Tidewater Rock. So I'm probably not in. No. I'm gonna say no. Actually, I just don't think there is anyone here that could possibly do that quickly, and we don't really have any artisans, merchant artisan crafters here. I mean, we barely. Most of the people are working in the field to replant our hybrid potatoes, tubers. So,
Yeah. You know, that is not a problem at all, my dude. I'm sure somewhere on the port of Alo, they're bound to have a dartboard that I can buy from somebody.
you're going to Alo?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of gambling there, so I'm sure you'll find all sorts there.
A lot of gambling, you say?
Max.
Try and keep your head over there, man.
Oh, you know, I'll do my best. I will try my darndest to not get killed over on the port of Alo.
Gosh, I mean, I hear they've got just shapeshifters there, so you'll be talking to one person, and then they'll just the next day they'll be wearing a different face of the person they killed last night.
Oh, dude, that's wild.
So just be careful.
You know what?
Starts hyperventilating.
Hey, man. Hey, you know what? You have been a very helpful and valuable asset to this entire operation, and I put my hands up on his forearms and kind of grasp him and say, hey, you're doing a good job, and I will give him a bardic inspiration.
Thanks. Thank you.
I like it when Nen gives
Appreciate it.
NPCs things.
Inspire word. Okay, yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. Okay, I'm gonna go, back to my shift, which I should have been doing anyway, just before I had this panic attack. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're doing good, Vaughn.
Thank you. And he walks away. All right, there. Now that we have completely established this foreboding nature, Max, how would you like to convince Lady of Tidewater Rock to pull a card from your magic deck.
Well, Ignis is with me, I believe. We
Yes.
established
Sure.
that. Okay. So, yeah, Max will, at some point, probably like later in an evening, kind of knock on I would assume not her actual like personal chamber, but maybe the door outside to that little eatery room. And he'll just knock on the door.
Oi, hey there, hot stuff.
Hello, my lady of the rock. May we...
And you're here as well, as she points to Ignis.
Yes.
I am.
My compatriot is with me. May we come in for a moment?
It's out of my hands. I can't do anything about this.
Yeah, by all means. Yeah, just let me get you a cup. Let me get you cups here. And she leads you into her room. Both of you. And if you recall, well, Max, you don't recall because you do recall.
Beautiful room.
I don't.
I've seen
I
you for
don't
the
act
first
like you ain't
time.
been here before. Okay, all right.
Okay. Yes.
But you notice the intricate bear rug that is white fur in front of the fireplace. That is actually pretty nice. A very nice pelt.
Max is immediately actually just taken off task and approaches it immediately and wants to know what kind of animal was this? Where did you get it? How did you kill it?
This was outside the Shackles, my husband. He may rest in peace, of course. Down below, he went to one of the poles where there's snow everywhere all year round, and he got it, cut it up, brought it back. He called it a polar bear.
Have I ever heard of these creatures before?
No, because you have not been to the outskirts of the world, and it just further emphasizes how there's so much to explore, so much in this world that is just meant to be discovered.
This is fascinating. This is beautiful. And he's just starting to almost like where Ignis is almost like this is awkward now because Max is just so interested in this creature and kind of leaving them standing there for a second.
Max,
Gosh, look at this.
wasn't there something that you wanted to ask the lady?
I'm sorry. Yes.
I don't
yes,
know why we're here. He just asked that we go talk to you.
Yes, that was right. That was right.
She gives both of you some glasses, not mugs, but actual glasses with a brownish liquid in it. And as you smell it, it is a strong alcohol.
Max, realizing it's alcohol, kind of goes, "Thank you, my lady." And he'll reach over and he'll actually take out a canteen and reach over and switch the alcohol from Ignis's hand to his because she doesn't like to drink. She told him that. So he will give her his water and just kind of have both drinks and start drinking back and forth between the two.
Right.
Ignis looks at him and then looks down at the canteen and then back to him and is a little confused about the gesture because that was incredibly thoughtful. But he didn't gain anything from that. He wasn't trying to get anything from her. So she's not confused, but she is. That was a very interesting thing to do. And so she's kind of pondering that as she's just looking at the water and watching him drink, double fisting both drinks in his hands.
Well, you can hold your liquor there. I mean, I would have gotten you a second glass as well. I didn't want to deprive the lady here, of course. A good lady can definitely hold her drink down, of course. As she gives you a wink, Ignis, as she downs her cup as well.
Lady Smythe,
Oi!
we of the Captain's Council of the Satyr Song have a tradition, I believe we are establishing, to solidify an allyship, if you will. And also, we of the Satyr Song, pretty much all of us in the Captain's Council, he'll look over at Ignis, are big believers in fate. How you come about your fate, I think is still a matter, again, looking at Ignis, up for debate among us, but yet we believe fate can decide and solidify an allyship to make sure that both sides are worthy of it. And what's the right word? destined for it. So, and he'll like reach under his, armor and jacket. Sorry. Reach under the scales and pull out the deck. He goes, so, in this tradition, we just ask if you would like to take a chance on fate.
We're playing a little game now.
Yes. I would suggest that you play the game. And he'll wait there for a second. And he'll be like, that usually works. They just say yes right away. Because the captain has never told them that he casts a spell for suggestion. And he's just like mystified that she's not like, oh yeah, let's do it. Like right away. So he's like,
The Griselda maneuver is not working. The Griselda procedure is not working.
yeah, he's just like, oh, he says like suggest that something happens.
Ignis does not know why they are there, and she does not know what the cards do. She has not been there for any of the interactions either. But while they were studying,
you did see.
I was not there
Didn't
for
all
Knuckles.
the Captain's Council see Knuckles' thing? I know Buster did.
No.
No, she was not.
Yeah,
Ooh,
so Ignis
okay,
has never seen the
okay.
cards. So while they were studying Aquan, Max suggested something to Ignis about fate, about the game, and so she's just intrigued of what he means by destiny. They were having a philosophical discussion of destiny and how that works, and so she's here for the fate.
And then, so as Max like realizes this isn't working, he'll just be like, a humble suggestion to, again, solidify our partnership between the Captain's Council and your ladyship.
It seems innocent enough, but I mean, I've solidified quite everything with you, Captain, already. Is this just a personal favor? Are you trying to butter me up for something here?
Would you?
I'm just confused.
I'm genuinely.
why,
I'm actually confused by what she means by that.
I'm just confused why you need me to pull a card when I've already buttoned things up with you, Captain, already. I mean, it seems like such a inconsequential gesture that you seem to be making a big point out of.
Pulling these cards brings about great things. And like we said, to solidify that fate has decided for us to ally together. It's a way for us to test, to make sure that fate is agreeable to the situation.
She's saying there's like some sort of magic that's going to happen when I pull a card.
Correct.
All right. I'm only doing it because you got a pretty face, though.
It gets you far in life.
She goes for the top, but then she goes to like the middle, and she like moves them.
Well, and as he's going to shuffle. He's going to shuffle them and just say what he always says, what was said to him long ago. You can't take back what has been taken, and you can't put back what has been chosen. Your luck is your choice, and your choice is your fate. Then, pick a card. Any card.
All right. And she goes right to the middle and pulls out one card. And she looks at it. She turns it around to the back to see what it is, like to kind of like investigate it. And as she turns it around, you see the face of a stereotypical devil with horns coming out of its head and like fire all behind it. And she goes, "This ain't looking that great." This is the Flames card.
That doesn't sound good.
Nothing appears to happen right now, but she's just like, this ain't looking good at all.
I mean, I didn't pick it.
All right, Max. Now what does she do?
Right. So I keep it close to my heart. Remember you always. Is that what I do?
Thomas, remind me, does the deck that I have, does the card go back into it, or can people keep
No.
it?
It disappears.
It disappears.
Oh, so hers does.
Yeah, so she's still holding on to it, but
Wait, so it hasn't disappeared then?
hasn't disappeared yet.
Well, you keep that.
All right. Close to my heart as she like kind of opens up her dress a little bit and like starts to put it down like right
Anywhere,
here.
anywhere really. Doesn't
Anywhere?
have to be. Yeah, doesn't have to be in a drawer. You know.
Oh. All right. Sounds fancy. All right.
What Was your trick just to pull a card? That's not fate. You didn't even guess. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't prove that Runeterra isn't in charge of all of the fate. It doesn't mean that our destinies are not connected to the Great Mother.
Well, sometimes you have to play the long game. Not be instantly gratified with things and interesting.
Because every instance Max has had with this so far has been pretty instantaneous. So he's like,
Interesting.
It's the wildest thing because we just ruined this woman's life and nobody knows what to do with it.
well, we don't know that we did. That's the thing. We don't know.
I don't even know what that card does. I'm not looking it up.
I think I remember what that card does. Not Max, just me as the player and knowing the deck. But Max has zero idea. So,
So she keeps the card, puts it right next to her chest, and goes, bit of a nightcap for you then.
All right. Well, my lady, thank you so much. We appreciate again your allyship and your demonstration of that.
I enjoy being an ally to you as well, because without it, I would be dead.
Yes, that's very true. That's very true.
So better that than dead as a rock. And with this, as she like touches the card, she goes, good fortune between us for eternity, I suppose.
If you ever need anything, let us know.
Or I.
good night. And he'll just kind of turn around and start
Max,
walking
what are we
away.
doing here? What was that?
And as they exit the room, like as they get like a couple flights, and Ignis probably keeps questioning, he'll just reach like by the time they reach the next landing and he knows the door is closed, he'll be like,
That was interesting. They give tremendous gifts, and they can also give tremendous curses. The fate part of it is what do you draw through your own choice?
Who decides the cards?
You do, because you draw it.
But that's... Are you saying a god is in charge of it? Are you saying
I don't
some
know of-
force in...
I don't know of any god that has any influence over these cards.
And what kind of item is it? Who's it tied to? She just can't conceive the idea that a higher power wouldn't have been in charge of an item.
The only one I know tied to it is the blessed and unfortunate souls who draw from it.
So why are you making people draw? Are you trying to be the master of fate then? Are you trying to change their destinies?
No, I'm not the one choosing the card.
But you're given the opportunity. You're trying to change their fate.
I'm not.
That's a dangerous game you're playing,
Trying-
Max.
I'm not. I am
And
not
many
trying
gods
to
wouldn't
change
like
their
it if you're
fate.
trying to change them.
Lieutenant, I'm not trying to change their fate. I'm trying to change my own.
Ignis relaxes and kind of takes a step back from him.
I don't know what they do. I don't know. I am. You haven't been on a ship long, so you don't know. I am searching for land in a storm of darkness. And this is the only thing that I have that gives me any sort of shot to get there. What I'm realizing, though, I may be shipwrecking others in the process. But it's... I don't know. This deck gives you things, gives you chances, gives you life. And it also takes. I've only seen it happen instantaneously the few times I've seen it occur, and I am honestly...
and he like looks directly. Again, he doesn't usually look directly at people, but he looks directly at the lieutenant.
I'm honestly terrified of the fate of that card she just drew. Because nothing happened. And that means, or at least I would imagine, it means something big is coming.
Are you telling me you're damning people's souls just to satiate your own curiosity? You're playing with things beyond your comprehension, the things of the gods, without any care.
Lieutenant, I get what you're saying. I appreciate your concern.
I'm not concerned. I'm confused.
And he'll kind of, with that line, he'll kind of take a step back and think to himself for a second and think,
That's right. Others don't concern you, do they?
Others, she kind of looks around. Others don't what?
Do you care about other people, Lieutenant? Their problems, their lives, their struggles? Or is it only for the end goal of serving your God?
There is nothing beyond serving my God. That is my purpose. My only reason for being on this plane is to do her bidding.
So for the rest of us on the ship, are we just means to an end?
She thinks about that for a second. Currently, I believe we are in pursuit, and we are doing things in line with what my God wants us to be doing. So far, I've only seen the golden lines and the golden threads that let me know that we're on the right path. If it starts to conflict, then we may have a problem. But for now, I think we're still on the path that Rolterra has sent us on. For her own purposes. And we may never know what those purposes are, but for now, the satyr's song is doing what she has woven into her tapestry. And as long as we stay according to that, we'll be doing exactly what she needs us to be doing. For her own purposes. It's not for us to ask why.
Interesting. What happens if the captain does something that goes against that? He orders us to go a way that your threads don't show.
She's looking at the ground while you say that to her, and then she just looks up and meets his eyes. And there's just this cold look in her eyes. And that's the answer that she gives you.
I would say if you can't answer that question, who's really the one trying to manipulate the fate of those around them for their own ends?
It's not for my ends, it's for Rolterra. She sees all. She knows best.
So by that end, I don't want to get into the weeds of this. You're not worthy to lead, then. The captain is, if Rolterra has all these threads that you talk about, and you said only the worthy lead.
In the middle of him talking, she just decks him in the face. Immediately.
Yes.
Oh, that comment really, the idea of not being worthy to leave really triggers something inside of her in terms of backstory. And so she just, while he's talking, completely sucker punches him out of nowhere and knocks him back against the wall because we're still in a tight stairwell.
Max will just let it happen. I'm not going to try and dodge.
Yeah, I was going to say it hits, and Max, you do take some damage. You're bleeding out of your mouth, and you sort of like spit out a little bit the blood as you're trying to see clearly as stars are clouding your vision as you stare back at Ignis, who is still there.
Is still there and just seething. And unless you'd like to say something to her, she'll have an exit.
He'll just say,
I didn't mean it as an insult. I was honestly asking. I was just confused.
And even though he's being gentle and being kind, her shoulders are just heaving and she's just seething with hatred that is super confusing because that does not seem like that should have been that triggering of a comment. And she'll just spit at his feet and then continue down the stairway.
And as Ignis walks away, leaving Max confused, hurt for sure, and the crew starts to wrap up their downtime here on the island. That is where we're going to leave this week's episode of I Cast Fireball.
So bad. Buster, did you have some downtime stuff?
I do, but it's not important.
Next episode.
Yeah. Yeah. We also,
Not really.
We also have time.
I don't have to have downtime stuff.
We also have time on the
I
ship.
did my
so
face spirit.
do it
I
on
was
the
gonna
ship
say,
as well.
is it something you want to do now, real fast, before the end of the episode? Or?
I mean, I want to try and
I can
divine with
re-edit it.
God.
let's
let's just do
pick it
next
up next
episode.
time. Let's pick it up
Okay.
next time. Well, As always, Jacob, Mickey, Josh, Ned, thank you so much for playing. Listeners, thank you for listening and for following along on this wacky adventure. And if you want to know how cursed the Lady Smythe is, you can go look up what the Flames card does. And
Do I have to go look it up?
It's not good.
Do I need to go look it
I
up?
looked it up.
Do I need to go
It's
look it
not
up?
good.
see how that's going to
It's
manifest
not good.
When I
itself
said
on
we
future
ruined her
episodes.
life, I was not
It's nothing we can
exaggerating.
do to help her with. It's nothing we can help her with. It's like such a terrible thing to have happen to her
no.
that we will never be
Listeners, if you want to
Anyway.
leave suggestions on how her life will get ruined by the Flames card, shoot us an email at icastfireball2020@gmail.com.
Oh, yes, please tell me how I, the DM, can destroy this woman's life.
Or
Oh no!
you can jump
You
on our
guys, this is
Patreon
not
exclusive
good.
tier, our patreon.com/icastfireball20, where you can join our $5 a month level, and you can jump on the Discord and you can DM me with suggestions on what to do.
It's the final max pile drive.
Oh, wow.
Wow. And we're leaving her at the Tidewater Rock. This is not a
We
good
don't
thing.
know.
sorry,
we
I'm
don't
sorry.
know what it does.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, Jake. I'm sorry, Thomas, for interrupting. I'm sorry.
But if you want to shout out to, if you want to reach out to other people in the podcast as well, Discord is the best way to do that. And you can talk to Jacob or Josh or Ned. You can talk to Ignis about what is going on with, or Mickey about what is going on with Ignis. You can talk about Ned about all of the times that he's going to spend with this random wino satyr if he ever gets to the Feywild. But speaking of Ned, though, we're going to shout out our sister podcast, Improv Tabletop. They have some super fun stuff. Jumanji Falls. Go check it out. It's pretty fun. It's pretty great. It's pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
A lot of cool, unprecedented stuff that we've never done in ImpTab before going on.
That's true. Speaking of dimensions, Jumanji Falls. Go take a look.
Jumanji Falls.
Jumanji Falls. And go give them don't forget to leave them a 5-star review on the way out. Lastly, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends and fellow wacky adventurers. But until next time, I'm Thomas, your DM, and around the table we've had
Lieutenant Ignis Halcon.
Maximus Shuns.
Ataraxia Kalian.
And Buster Bilgewater.
Let's keep that fire going, everybody, and we'll see you all next time.